Yeah, you're listening to RezoCast. How the fuck does it go? Hello, everybody. Welcome to RezoCast episode 35. This week, it's me, Triton. We're missing Lego. He's doing some working things, but we brought along Booker again for a return visit, and hopefully in a little bit we'll have his Fury in here too to talk a little bit about the Destiny 2 reveal that he was at. But how about you guys? What's been going on this week besides that? Booker, anything?
I mean, the big reveal, obviously, yeah. That was a big thing. But no, I've been I actually, oddly enough, I started a new character on my alternate account this week. As crazy
for
as
what
that
game?
Is. For Destiny. I don't know why. I was just bored and I wanted to go through the story again. Like, I'm just kind of a cheese ball, and other than that, that's about all I've had really going on. Not much going on this week other than that. How about you, Triton?
Yeah, the reveal was pretty awesome. I definitely know we'll get into that shortly. But I was actually able to play with some clanmates earlier on, actually last week, just because of the spacing between our podcast. But I was able to play with Guillermo and Socio, so it was really cool to kind of get in the Crucible and just play little games with them. I haven't got to play with them or talk with them in a while, so kind of rekindle my, not interest, because I've always had interest, but just kind of rekindle, like, man, I really do enjoy this game when I get some time to play. So that was a good time, and just kind of led us right into the reveal.
Yeah, it's been, besides the Destiny 2 reveal, the second most exciting thing to happen to me this week, I think, was trying to get ready for this podcast, because I don't ever think I realize how much stuff Lego does to get ready for it. So, like, I jumped on here, I was like, oh, Booker was like, when we getting ready? I was like, oh, like 15 minutes, we'll be good. And I barely made it for 11:30 because I had to get the stream ready, I had to get the hangout ready, and God bless Lego, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But, it was weird. I didn't play it. I find it hard to play Destiny right now, and not because I don't like Destiny, but I watched all that Destiny 2 stuff, and then I went on. And it's like, oh, this isn't Destiny 2 yet. Like this is hard to play. But yeah. Well, we might as well jump right into that because there's no TWAB. The TWAB said, "Well, you guys know what happened. We'll be back next week." So, what do you guys think? What was the best part? The one thing first that stuck out the most to you about the whole reveal, the whole stream?
I think, I don't know, just having some cutscenes, so to speak. I think the starting out with the whole Zavala, like kind of going back to like before everything, the Traveler and such. Like that kind of like I'll have to say I sat in my car on lunch and I probably had a little bit of a tear in my eye watching that. I think seeing some of the cutscene stuff and knowing that there's going to be a lot of cutscenes through the story mode is kind of it's got me excited, I think, most part.
Triton?
Yeah, I would say for me, the two things that we really talked about when we were building up to Destiny 2, I'll go with one, but the two things that really did stand out were kind of the way they presented patrols, just because we knew that was kind of everyone's least favorite activity and what that will be. But to me, it was the way they went about having social interaction in the game, because we talked a lot about, and they even mentioned and called out the third-party apps that people use to come together. And we've talked a lot on this podcast about how the larger audience of Destiny doesn't really have a voice per se, because they're not as, obviously as passionate per se, or at least seek the outlets that we do to learn about the game and converse about the game. So the fact that they're kind of looking at the fact that we as a community are constantly, saying we love the community. So they're saying, okay, well, if you love it so much, we're going to kind of put the onus on you, so to speak, to kind of integrate all these other Guardians who don't have the opportunity to play with people as often as you do. I thought that was a very, very really creative way to not only make clans more relevant, but to also interact more with the community at large. And that was pretty much my big takeaway. I was really very impressed and really excited for that feature, for the guided games and the clan features going forward in Destiny 2.
So Triton always has the best questions and answers. Is that what I'm picking up on here? Like,
Triton's just smarter than.
I thought we were just doing our initial impression.
No, that was like Triton just puts it all out there, man. He goes for it.
That's the podcast, guys. Have a good night. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Triton summed up everything that happened. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry, Fury, you didn't make it. In time. Right. It's been 6 minutes.
What about you, man?
No, I mean, I know I'm the one that asked the question because I'm an asshole, but I don't know if I can pick one. Like, there was so much stuff that was so cool, from going back to Zavala before he was a Guardian, first being revived and all that, to watching him defend the city and using the fist of I wanted to call it a fist of panic, fist of havoc, repeatedly to the battle coming, the Cabal and everything. It was really cool, and that was just the first trailer, and then like you said, you go into the guided games, some of the new PvP stuff, all 4v4. I mean, there was a lot of really good stuff that I think, some expected, some stuff that we were kind of like the guided games. I don't think anybody saw that specifically coming. We all wanted more integration with clans and more social aspects, but the way they went about that, I think was really cool. But I think my favorite thing about the trailers, you guys probably have heard this already, but the one scene where it showed the ship flying up to the Traveler and that little girl was watching it.
Yeah.
They confirmed that was young Amanda Holiday.
Yeah, that's pretty
wow.
cool.
That's awesome.
It has nothing, they could have left that out and it wouldn't change anything, but I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that's neat. That's pretty slick.
And I think that speaks a lot to the polish of just that whole reveal. They just did everything, in my opinion, top to bottom, exactly the way that people who have played this game for 3 years would want it. I mean, they hit you right away with a story you want to care about, like the narrative, the cinematics, all that stuff. The number one thing that they needed to address, they did right away. Kind of followed with the Crucible and some of those other things, and they touched on the worlds. And then lastly, I think the kind of, to me, as I mentioned earlier, the real big kind of takeaway for me and kind of the surprise was the guided games and actually like clan rewards and incentives. I thought was awesome. But they hit really all those components. I actually think they gave us, and I know we'll talk about, I think they gave us almost too much. There was so much that I'm seeing. I'm like, wait, I didn't want to know this. I didn't know if I wanted to know this. I mean, it was awesome. I love the whole thing, but there was parts where I was like, whoa, I don't want to know that I'm going to have to maybe bring the Vanguard back together. That was kind of a plot thing that I didn't want to know.
Yeah, but, first of all, that brings me to Big Tater Tot asked the question, before we dive into anything too specific. Are you surprised that they showed so much, or is it about what you expect? I don't know. I think it was pretty much spot on, in my opinion. I mean, the whole Zavala trailer was more that seemed to be more designed for this reveal than the game itself.
Yeah.
The trailer with the Cabal attacking and all that stuff. Yeah, that might have been cool to see it as a surprise, but it didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. The Cabal were attacking, the tower was destroyed. It was just expounding on that. I don't see too much, honestly. I could see where you would, I don't disagree with you, Triton. I don't know. I think that's cool because that seems to be almost like not the only, but an overarching plot point that isn't the typical enemy does something bad, we kill them. They didn't tell you how you're going to do it or where it's going to happen. It was just kind of, this is the other thing that's important in this game. And it's something we've talked about, making characters more personal and making them matter more. So I liked it.
I mean, I liked it, and I'm sorry, Booker. I'll let you get in. They did say that the 3 new zones each were kind of tied to one of those people, so you did kind of get where it would take place. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I think I just wanted to. I mean, and we got, into my opinion, when we talked about what we would get, I think we got more than what we thought we were going to get in something like that. We thought they're just going to show maybe one gun or this or that. And we got them playing what appears to be the first level to a great degree. So I think we got a lot. I don't think anything was ruined. But for me, I wanted to, not that I won't, I'm still going to be like a kid in a candy store, on September 8th, but it's just, there's so many things I want to be secret, but I still loved it. I mean, it's hard to be, I'm not upset.
Yeah, I'm not mad at anybody at all. I'm with you a little bit. Yeah, right. I'm with you a little bit because I don't like to see everything. I like to really be surprised and go into it and have some fun. But I also don't care about spoilers. I don't mind knowing something because I have anticipation. I want to know what's going on. But in some of the interviews I saw afterwards that Luke and Mark did, it sounds like there's even more to that opening that opening part that they did, that we saw, the gameplay we saw. I feel like there's more there because I don't think they let any of the content creators or they're recording of that footage to show on their YouTube channels or things of that nature. So there's still some stuff there. So I felt like they gave us just enough to be wanting more, that here in a couple weeks, by the time E3 rolls around, we're wanting more information. Because I felt like today or yesterday was an E3 event more than anything. I felt like that could have been E3. and I'm just
Mhm.
excited that they gave it to us like almost a month in advance. I think is really cool. But yeah, like there's what we in the news we got about what was coming out, and the news that came like so early, like it was just amazing. And like when I heard matchmaking, because I started the I got into it a little late. I was like probably 10 minutes late getting into it, and I'd heard like already like about some of the matchmaking stuff, and I was kind of scared. Like in matchmaking Nightfalls, Rays, I'm like that could be kind of scary. But when they talked about, to your point, Triton, about guided games, like that was awesome. Like to think of how they're putting that together, and that there might even be reward systems for like clans that like include people and help like complete that other 50% of the people that get max level and then didn't complete anything. So I don't know. I feel like it was just a taste, really, or just a tip, so to speak, just a taste,
Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
just to see how it feels.
I really liked it was kind of funny that they poked fun at themselves with that too.
Yeah.
Like Luke and I think whoever was on next, Steve Cannon. Is that right?
I think it was the world guy, yeah. Steve
Cotton.
Yeah,
or Steve Cotton.
Cotton, yeah. Who I felt bad for. He kept making jokes that I was sitting at home laughing at, and he would pause and no one laughed. And I was like, that was funny, guys. What's happening?
That was funny.
But they both poked fun at it. Like Luke was like, we're getting a new raid, which we're going to show you. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to show you that. Like,
Luke is
I like
fun.
that.
I like Luke as a presenter. He's hilarious.
Yeah. He did a really good job. But, you know, like you were saying, it was almost like an E3. And I think it's something we've talked about before that they've gone, you know, obviously this wasn't at their Twitch studio, but they've gone, a lot of companies are moving away to a point from E3 and doing their own events to get more stuff. And this was kind of what that was. You know, the kind of presentation, big and, you know, press and all that stuff that you would normally see at an E3, but they did it themselves.
Yep.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
And Hope, I think you bring up a great point right there because of how much, you know, they're
I
poking fun, they're having fun, like how much fun they're having doing this and revealing this to us, because I mean, that's going to show through in the game. And, you know, one of the things we've talked about, and we've not really pulled punches, but, you know, obviously we've critiqued them and we've criticized where it seems necessary. And a lot of people have done far worse over the last 3 years. You have to think some people that are professionals and put their heart and souls into this game, Destiny 1, and that are still here, were so anxious to say, look, this is the masterpiece. We have full control, all of these things. I think they're just like, you know, chomping at the bit to show us this and say, like, this is what we want to do. This is our vision. This is our creation. And it shows. And it shows in that presentation. And, you know, Booker's point, when E3 comes, I'm sure we'll get some more. And, you know, it just keeps the kind of the hype train and the excitement rolling for me, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, you talk about not pulling punches. Believe me, I won't touch on them now. But there are some things that they showed that I'm not a fan of.
Oh, really?
Nothing big. But things that, you know, like I said, we'll get to those later. We'll cover everything first. But there's some things that I was kind of like, I don't, whatever. But I guess the thing that has been coming up the most in our general overview has been guided games. You want to dive into that real quick and talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
My thing, I think it's awesome. First of all, it's, you know, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm really bad at remembering things, but just to throw it out there, it's pretty much, first of all, our clan flag is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I was immediately thinking about the custom banner with all the talented people we have in this clan.
Yeah, exactly.
And I am not one of those.
Yeah, neither am I. Not the three of us.
Yeah, no,
I can
all we
pay
do is
someone
talk.
to do it, but I can't.
Lego, where are you? Lego, where are
you? Yeah, we can't even, like, if it wasn't for Lego, there wouldn't even be a podcast. I don't think any of us know what we're doing. But it pretty much, you know, the gist of it is to allow solo players or players that would like to get to know people in a clan and be more with a clan without actually being in that clan, allows them to play together. So what, if there's the three of us and we need 3 more people and we can't find anyone from Rezo, we can bring in almost like a matchmaking thing, 3 other people who have shown interest in playing with Rezo, correct? Is that how that functions?
Yeah, and I think the other side of it, like, how often have you gotten together, like, to do a raid or something of that nature, and someone has to drop out? I think that's the other key. And, like, you can't, like, if especially around launch, there's a bunch of teams going in our clan, somebody drops out, and you have this great feature to kind of put something out there. And to what you just said, especially, like, we have a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to be a part of Rezo, I want to be part of Rezo, and this is a great way to say, hey, you can play with us, like, anytime, like, through the guided games. You're going to be able to do a lot of different things that we were never able to do before, which I think is just, it's such a cool idea, and it's so much more creative than when when I heard about matchmaking and people talked about it through like Destiny 1, I was like, I just don't know how you could do it. Like that'd just be awkward. Like it can be really toxic if you get somebody bad in there, or somebody in there and they're with a bad group. I mean, they're just kind of mean about what they're doing. Like that could just be nasty and not a good experience for anybody. And just the way that they're doing it is pretty neat. And it sounds like what I saw in like the fire team chat thing that Luke and Mark did afterwards is that they're bringing like the clans don't have to reform. Like they're gonna just bring everything that already is in Destiny 1 over to what's currently there.
Oh yeah, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, it sounds like the capacity of the clans might change a little bit, but it'll still be probably that 75 area kind of ballpark that they've been at, or 75 to 100. I'm not sure what they are right
100,
now.
I think, is the cap. Yeah. I definitely, I think it's a really cool idea, and it's something, especially for, Resolute in particular. I can't speak for any other clans, but one of our things has always been, just because you're not in Rezo doesn't mean you can't be a part of like our family, our friends, because we want to play with as many people as possible, and this is Bungie helping that happen.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly. Well, and this is one way people will find out that we're not all sniper gods too. They'll play with us and be like, "Oh shit, you guys have some bad."
We
people in your
are
clan."
all sniper gods.
Well, I'm not, so I mean,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Now, I do want to point out that I don't think that the guided games is without its possible issues either.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, anything is abusable and trollable, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you can figure out a way to do anything.
Yeah.
So I think a couple issues with this is, in theory, it should also let smaller clans grow, right? More they can get people to come play with them. If they hit it off, they can play together. I also don't want it, and I think it may start like this to a point, but it'll expand. I think at the beginning, especially people coming back from Destiny 1 who were more than just casual players and know the landscape, I think you're going to see a lot of requests to play with Rezo, IM, ESK, Math Class, all the kind of known clans, and I don't want that from the whole point of view of the community and from our point of view. I hope it doesn't just become that, because there are a lot of great clans out there that aren't very big that would be great to play with.
And I guess I heard it like differently, I guess. Not as like you would request to play with somebody, as much as like if we're like, hey, we're a clan and we have an opening, we would put something out there and people would see that as like, oh, this group is looking for somebody. Like there's an app called like the 100.io. It's like an LFG app, and it works very similarly, where you like posted this is what you're doing and you need so and so people. So I feel like that's kind of what it is, more or less. And I agree with you. There's always going to be a downside to everything. There's going to be trolls that will make it a bad experience for somebody. But I think the point that like I go with what Luke was saying yesterday is that like that the fact that there's 50% of the group that got max level and didn't like complete a raid or didn't go to the lighthouse, like that stinks. Like to be that group that like put that much in the game and didn't get that far.
I'm honestly surprised 50% did do it. From the numbers we'd originally heard, they were talking like 5-10% doing a raid.
Yeah, and you're right. That's a big number still, even for that matter. But yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I think you're right with the way it works with like, we put something out there, but it showed them going through not invitations, but like that it was out there, request or accept or deny like this invitation from so-and-so clan. And it's not going to be everybody. I think it's going to be great all in all, but I could also see people just scrolling through there going, I don't know who that is. Deny. Ooh, I heard of them. Click.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I mean, I guess, it's always going to be that. I mean, that's a good point, Ho. There's definitely going to be people who are searching to try to play with bigger people. I mean, it happens in streams. Right. But I think the same effect, too, is, some people that there are always going to be those people, but the people who truly are just like, hey, I just really want to experience, those will filter down to the smaller streams to try to get in for a lighthouse carry and so forth.
Absolutely.
So hopefully it still will work as intended, but just like anything else, it's always going to be, those one or two people who kind of cry about it or, shout the loudest that may kind of dampen that experience. But that's what I think is so genius about putting it on the community is usually, and it's been the case, usually the Destiny community will kind of speak up collectively and kind of push those things down and push them aside and come together. So again, that's why I thought it was such a genius move on their part, because we always brag about how great the community is, and so now they're saying, well, how great really are you, kind of thing, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would just like to see at some point, and not because of that issue, just because I think it would make it even more helpful, some sort of like rating or review system or something.
Well,
with
that
that,
would
even
be
as simple
great,
as
yeah.
like 1 star through 5 stars.
Yeah.
Like this clan was great, or even vice
Yeah.
versa. If we bring someone in and they came in to be an asshole.
Well, it kind of goes back to the Xbox
Downvote.
Live days. You know, like back, you used to like rate. Like, didn't you used to have a rating in Xbox Live like early on? Like you could be rated what kind of player you were to play with. Like, if you were someone that quit out of like
I
a
think
match,
so.
it would have like a bad rating on you. Like you were playing with somebody and you just like dropped off. And I guess that's kind of how I thought about guided games a little bit as well. I remember Xbox Live, your little like icon you could put out there. Hey, I'm playing Call of Duty tonight. And anybody in your friends list could see that you're playing, and they could try to join up with you. So I don't know. I just kind of harken back to the old Xbox Live days when I heard that.
Yeah, I just think that would be useful not only from a stopping trolls perspective, but also maybe helping a smaller clan or a solo player. Like, you know, if somebody does get in to games and they're super helpful and they're nice and they're really just looking to play with cool people, those clans can say, hey, this guy was great. And then you can kind of see that, and vice versa. You know, this clan, they may have 4 people, and you've never heard of them, but they're great guys. Like, you want to join up with them. Great reviews. I think that would be really cool, and I think that would take the community building aspect even one step further.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Bungie, if you're listening to that and you have something like that in mind, or that's a great idea, please make it like a verified purchase for other reviews things where like you have to have actually experienced something to leave a review.
Yeah.
Not just anybody.
Right, because everything's trollable.
Right. Yeah, because then
Well,
it's like,
think about
I
Amazon.
didn't get it. I didn't
Amazon's
get to
got-
play with Rezo 1 star.
Yeah.
These guys suck. Blah blah blah. So verified purchase, please.
Think about Amazon. You got the verified like reviewer, somebody that actually.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. Or you put that a review was helpful or not. Even was the person helpful? Did they kill Crota or did they pull the network cable? Like that's what.
I like that Luke Smith brought that up,
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
He's
Hey,
like, that's
I
a
can
deep
raise
cut.
my hand. I was in a group that pulled the network cable once before, so I will say that.
Never did it. Seriously, I never did.
No, I was in a group that did it, and I hated it. So anyway,
I just lied about running the sword. That's
What do we
Sorry,
think about the clan incentive? So the clan rewards, because that was kind of with guided games, and maybe that'd be cool if they're kind of like intertwined. Like you would get a pretty big bonus if you actually had a verified guided games experience. But now all of a sudden it's like, you know, some of us can't play all the time, some of us play all the time, but collectively as a clan, and it showed kind of like different tiers as, you know, she went along. You know, that would be really cool if it's like, what if you logged enough stuff and you got like a Nightfall reward? Everybody in the clan would just be able to pick up a Nightfall reward. What do you guys think about those?
That would be awesome. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that as much as I wish I would have, but I did remember hearing them say like everybody gets whatever the reward might be. But yeah, I wish I had more information on that. But I mean, any incentive is fantastic, and I think that would try to move people away from being the trolls and to try to do something good for the community rather than being that troll.
sometimes trolling's fun.
Yeah, true.
One thing I wanted to move on to. I didn't really watch it, so this is what I'm going to get to. But Dubious Destroyer wanted to know what we think about the new strike, and I'm going to be honest, I stayed away from it.
I didn't
want
watch
to
it.
see. Yeah. Triton, did you?
I watched like the initial reveal, you know, basically the 1 hour presentation. I didn't really.
So you didn't watch the like gameplay of the strike or anything?
Mm-mm. I didn't really want to do, like I said, that we got a lot in the initial presentation. I was like, well, these are the kind of individual details I'd rather experience firsthand.
Yeah, I watched mainly some of the 4v4 stuff, some of the clips people put up just to see some of the weapons, but the strike, for some reason, I just, like you guys, I wanted to stay away from it. It was more that surprise. I want to run that strike on my own.
Yeah, I feel like PvP for the most part, there's not much spoilery.
No, yeah.
You know, there's no like story or anything. So none of us watched the strike. That's easy.
Sorry.
Quickly, Rezo DJ said it would be cool if the clan rewards were scaled based on the size of the clan as well.
Yeah.
So the clan of 5 isn't ostracized from rewards compared to a clan of 100, which is a good point.
That is a good point.
So one big thing, the new weapon slots.
Yeah.
That's something that no one saw coming.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Well, from what I've heard, like obviously I didn't play it, but I mean, primaries are king, it sounds like, which is kind of awesome. I think spawning in without any of your special ammo, so to speak, or what do they call it, the power weapon ammo?
Yeah, power,
kinetic,
and then the
energy,
special
power.
Yeah, and then the special. Oh yeah, the sidearm. I'm just trying to remember how they broke it down, but you're guys right. The secondary is weak. Like I saw Lumi posted, like sidearm, SMG, and fusion. They're not very strong at all. The power weapons are good, but you just don't get the ammo. And whenever somebody picks it up, it's only one person that gets it. So I like that stuff. I think that like I think it's going to slow down the gameplay a bit, but it's going to really make it about like gun skill. And I think one of the best things about Destiny is the gunplay in it, and it's going to make it's going to make it not getting a sticky thrown at you and you blow up or something like nature.
Well, it's okay because stickies aren't one-hit kills anymore.
Exactly. So.
True Vanguard did a video. He said they do still curve like crazy, and it wasn't latency because they were on a landline, like closed connection. Right, yeah,
not landline. That would be bad.
56K.
Did either one of you guys catch? I think maybe it was Luke Smith that mentioned that when he said we wanted to give people more options for what they wanted to play. He's like, you can kind of almost double up on what you like. So I mean, I've not really seen a lot of the gameplay. I kind of stayed away from those things. Also, didn't have a ton of time. But could you have basically taken or take two kinetic weapons into those two slots and just have like kinetic power, or does it not work that way?
I think what he meant is the energy slot is most of the same weapon types as the kinetic slot, just with energy, with an element. Or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I see you could technically have two hand cannons though, or not like dual wielding, but you could have two on you.
Your kinetic slot, you could have a kinetic hand cannon, and you could have an energy hand cannon in that slot. Yeah. From what I do understand, I can't say that I've heard this one for sure, although we can't really confirm damn near anything.
Yes.
But I heard that the energy weapons do more damage as well.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so even two hand cannons, they do a little bit more damage.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think any customization is great. So being able to kind of use the kind of guns you want to use and basically saying like, well, I just really like, Booker said, I really love hand cannons, so let me give a kinetic one and let me give like one that has like an element on it. Maybe for like a PvE type of activity, I think it's fantastic. And as far as like primary is king, I'm sure that makes a lot of sense. I mean, just anxious, for people to find out the maps. I think sniping's a big part of like knowing maps and knowing kind of like, choke points in that. So I'm sure those things will come back up in time. But it is good to know that right now, just on the initial 1-day test or whatever that was, that the primary game is pretty strong.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I listened to more than I watched, kind of like Triton. Like I caught some things, like I said, I saw like 2 or 3 minutes of some of the gameplay, like in the Crucible, on that game. I can't remember the game mode now that they're playing. What was it called? Countdown, yeah, which looks awesome in my opinion. But like Pope was talking about, and they were talking about in the community podcast, they did like a 20-minute thing yesterday. And it sounds like if you liked Halo, like for instance, you liked Halo snipers and SMGs and things of that nature, that gameplay felt a lot like that. And I didn't play a ton of Halo PvP, so I can't speak to that. But I just hearing those guys talk about it, they kind of all seemed to nod heads, and that was where it felt like it was going.
It looked very much more like some of the Halo 5 gameplay I've seen than Destiny gameplay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it still had, the grenades and supers and stuff, but as far as like just the way they ran and jumped and everything, because they took out some of the movement abilities. Titan skating and Warlock surfing are gone. They don't make you any faster. It reminded me more of that. It still felt very Destiny, but it reminded me more of Halo than Destiny 1 did, I'd say. Nice. The one thing, and it's hard to speak to it completely because we don't know what other things are going to change and how gameplay is going to change, but I'm just hoping, snipers now are in that power slot where it drops every so often like heavy and only one person can get it now. Does that does that kind of kill sniping, do you think?
I'm going to go ahead and say that's not a change, and I didn't do the investigation of actually. It's really good that I brought that up because I didn't realize that snipers fell to the power slot. Yeah. Having not really watched a lot of gameplay, and then Booker saying that only one person gets it. I love sniping in this game. I think it's super fun. I know maybe this is stupid to say, maybe it's cheesy or it's kind of irrelevant, but I think when you watch like sniper montages in this game, they're like no other game. And I know that's not really something that like people should like promote per se, but it's part of my enjoyment of the game for sure. Mm-hmm. Watching those, Hovey's montages, I've done a few with other clanmates have done amazing ones, Hush's montage. There's so many TVs. I don't know if I love that change because to me, I mean, I understand why people, and maybe at the time snipers were this, and we were like in year 2 when everyone hated that. I mean, it wasn't like, in year 1 when the game was super fresh, people complained probably as much, but I don't love that. If that's truly the case, does it kill sniping? Well, not if you're the guy that always gets it, but to me, that's something that I like to see happen more often in a game. So it seems like that would be very limited.
Yeah, I don't think that like they're killing sniping. Like from what I like heard and what I saw, like, but what I do think is what they've done more than anything is they brought balance, because now shotguns are like a power weapon as well, along with snipers. So you have these weapons that typically at times have dominated the game, and we've had to balance things so they wouldn't dominate it. And now, like, you don't spawn in with that ammo, so you really have to fight to get that ammo. And we only saw one game mode, and it looked like for Countdown looked like it was rounds as well, kind of like an elimination type thing. So like the ammo may act differently. I mean, obviously, I don't think you're ever going to spawn in with ammo. It sounds like for power weapons, but you may see more ammo, so you're going to be able to get that. But I don't think that they're bad. I think that at least. And that's my opinion, I guess. I'm only speculating. I guess no one at Bungie called me and said anything, but I saw they didn't. But I did see like Hush had some really great video clips of snipes that he did. During I saw he posted on Twitter and things like that. So I did see some really good snipe shots. I did a couple of shotguns, but more hand cannon and pulse action than I saw of anything. But I don't know that they couldn't take that away. Like there's so many people like you guys just said that love snipers and love watching the videos of somebody getting hit. And especially if you think about the lanes on the map that they did show, they were so narrow. Like it's like perfect to do sniping around, to be poking around a corner and looking at somebody and sniping their face off.
Well, I definitely want Hove to go, but I'll end on this because you mentioned balance before I let Hove jump in.
Yeah.
I think Destiny 1 has proven that limiting something and limiting supply isn't really balanced, and I don't think the community ever really takes it that way. Is like whether it be the special ammo or things like that. I don't know if making something more scarce is the way this community's always respond well to balance. It's a whole new game. Granted, a whole new game could be a whole new feel. It may not even matter. So this could all make no sense. But from what we know, that hasn't been successful. So I just have I guess I don't even want to say a pause, but just it gives me something to think about.
Well, I think if you think about heavy right now, we think it comes in one time. And if snipers are in that same spot, like you may not ever see that. Like you may not even pick up any ammo if it happens that way. But I don't think it's gonna be. It's gonna be a totally different economy, in my opinion. But
I think another thing that I guess didn't really dawn on me because I'm so conditioned to the way things are right now. But people were saying, when someone picked up like sniper ammo, they were getting like 6 to 7 rounds. I keep thinking like, oh, it spawns and then whatever, then you don't have it anymore. I'm assuming you're not going to lose it when you die. We're so conditioned to losing your ammo.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
So you may.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I was like, well, do they count the spawn in original, or do they count when you respawn as you don't have it in a respawn either? So we don't know that answer yet.
Right. Now, if they would keep the ammo, then I think it would be. I don't think it'd be bad because really, all you're doing at that point is giving us an extra weapon slot and taking away rockets and heavy machine guns without actually taking away the option of them. Because I feel like more people are going to use snipers if you're going to get 6 or 7 shots and they want to snipe than that one time they get ammo to get a rocket or 2, right? So you're just giving us an extra weapon slot compared to what we had in Destiny 1.
Exactly.
And still giving us sniper or shotgun, if we can keep the ammo.
Also, if they really come with like custom games, then maybe no one will ever care because anything that's like ever like competitive or tournament, we could set it so they're available for those. So maybe that's the case, right? For people that really want to do that in a more competitive setting. Because I guess like for me, thinking about it like 4s or whatever, I probably won't care. I mean, it's just I'd like to do it, but no big deal.
Well, that's one thing. You said 4s, and Booker brought up map design. Another thing, if anyone hasn't watched any of True Vanguard's videos, even his first couple, they were like 2-minute videos that he was recording as he was going. One of the things he said from talking to some of the devs was that the maps for PvP are much better. This is paraphrasing, but basically in Destiny 1, they built an environment based on the story, based on the game, based on the locations in the game, and then made it into a PvP map.
Yeah.
Whereas this time, they built a PvP map the way that they wanted to build a PvP map, and then skinned it, so to say, to fit into some part of the story.
Oh, okay.
So he said the maps are much better designed for PvP. And somebody else was mentioning to me, there isn't a whole bunch of nonsense shit everywhere, for lack of a better word. Like rock here
rock
that
you
you
get
get
stuck
stuck
on.
on. And
That map
yeah,
is clean
That's good.
too. Like,
Yeah,
having it look
exactly.
like it was like in like a town center type area. Like I loved the way that looked, and
yeah.
I didn't play CS:GO, but like some folks said, it was very tight, kind of like that would be. Which I
Mhm.
love that. I thought that was really slick. So you dead on right there. But one thing I hate to bring up Halo again, so I apologize. But I guess they're kind of the reference. But in PvP and Halo, like to go back to the sniper thing we talked about, you know, don't you have to like find the sniper like
I think so.
in there? So like it's kind of I feel like it's a little bit that way. Like we load in with a sniper, but we have to find the ammo, which were in Halo PvP. Which, and I'm just comparing that because it's Bungie.
Right.
You didn't have that when you when you spawned in. You had to find that to be able to shoot it, and you had the ammo that you had in it at that time. So I guess I kind of compare it that way, that they're kind of going back to some of the roots in that respect.
Yeah, and you know, moving to 4v4, whether they're doing it just to appease the players or if there is something going on behind the scenes as far as a move to competitive play.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to speculate there. Who knows?
Yeah.
But 4v4
I know I won't be in it. I know that.
Right. Yeah. At least not for very long. You know, we might get
Yes.
there, lose a couple games, and be out.
2 seconds.
That's how long. Never mind. The 4v4 seems to be more the standard for some more competitive games. You know, like people talked about, we had 3s and 6s, and everyone was
Yeah.
really hyped about 4s when private matches came. So, I mean, it seems like I don't think this necessarily pushes them to competitive play as officially, but you're going with 4s, you're going with less abilities, you're going with different weapon slots, better maps. It's going more towards other competitive shooters, I feel like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a
Agreed.
good speculation. I do hope that there's something like, and I know Battlefield has like a ground war. I do hope there's a way other than just custom games. Maybe it's a rotational type of playlist where it does kind of expand it again. The better map design, I think, will be relevant for anything, and maybe it comes with a better map if they do go to like call it classes 6s, like back to the back in Destiny 1. But I do hope they offer those types of things, because I think there is a place in PvP specifically where people are just like, I want to have fun. Like 6s almost never stresses me out because it's 6s and it's just fun, and there's always someone to
Yeah.
shoot, and there's always something going on, and there's just so many things to do. So I agree with you, Hove. I think 4s is probably caters to what a lot of people really want, and I think they're smart to do. I think they've really listened to the community. That's what we want them to do. But I do hope there's a place for 6s and larger, maybe 8-on-8 or something like that where you can expand it, because I think that would be fun every now and then too.
Right. Well, before we get too much into, you know, PvP talk, like we usually, I feel like we just by default talking in PvP
Yeah.
because that's like what changes. But with so much other stuff happening, and we mentioned abilities, one thing that I can't believe we haven't even talked about, new subclasses.
Yep.
Captain
Yeah,
America
yeah.
Titan.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, first start to that question. Day one, it's September 8th. You have to pick a class. What new subclass are you running?
Warlock.
The
Dawnblade, huh?
Dawnblade.
Arcstrider. Is it Arcstrider?
I think it's Pole Dancer.
Yeah, the hunter. I think whatever Arcstrider or Pole Dancer, whatever it is, I think that's definitely gonna be my day.
Yeah,
one.
I don't understand the pole dancing thing, so I don't know. Warlock.
I'm going with Sentinel, I think, which is,
Yeah.
as you guys know me, I don't hate anymore, but I talk a lot of shit on Titans. But I
Yeah.
mean, now there's a Captain America Titan, so, you know, I changed
true.
my
That
my
is
opinion.
pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
So, yeah, I think the Arcstrider looks really badass. I don't know, man. You have a shield and you get to hit it and you get to throw it and you get to, I mean, that's awesome. Like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I want to be all of them, but I mean, I guess I'm just gonna stick with my hunter roots probably.
I think what I'll probably do is take one of them, and I think right now, unless something changes my mind, it'll be the Sentinel, and I'll probably play all of the story stuff, however long that may take
Yeah.
me, and then I'll go back and start on other characters.
Yeah. Same
You know,
here.
I want to
would
see
do the same
everything.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Um,
I think I've kind of like each like launch I did Hunter, then the next one I did Warlock, Titan. So I'm gonna flip it and go to Warlock because the Dawnblade just looks like a lot of fun. Like in my opinion, we get to throw hammers in a sense with a sword, which is pretty cool.
I need
Yeah,
a more
and they,
balanced plan for mine, I think, because like I looked at my gameplay, because the other day I was messaging Lego and Hove like, is the stat thing updated? And I realized that I probably played 4 times more on my hunter than like any other character. My warlock was the last one, so like Hove mentioned, like do the whole story, then maybe start another
Yeah.
one. I think I need to have a better progression plan, because like I feel like I just finally finished one of the subclasses for Warlock like not that long ago because I just never really put the time in.
Yeah.
Real quick, Country in chat said the hunter's a pole dancer, kung fu master, which I'm down with.
That's fair.
Cruise.
So speaking of the new subclasses, when we were talking new abilities, they completely reworked the way subclasses are set up. There's no more grid. They have something that actually reminds me a lot. Have you ever played Infamous?
Yes.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the way their like skill tree is. You have your like basic thing, and then over here is this ability and the different things you can do with it. Down here is this ability and the different things you can do with it. It looks much cleaner. I mean, that in a sense, that's an aesthetic quality of life thing. It doesn't really change the ability.
Well, it looks very RPG-ish. It looks very RPG-ish, I guess, And it doesn't look like, with our subclasses now, it like the bottom right or on the bottom is like always the most important thing, and it looks like you can kind of pick which direction you want to go this time. It's not like linear, we have to go a certain way, which is what I kind of like. Yeah, and I think just the leveling up of it looks kind of neat to be able to like. That's where we go out in that open world and do side quests and things of that nature, be able to power up and level up that stuff. But I think it's pretty slick.
Yeah, and they they have things divided up a little bit differently now. Like we were saying, there's still the grenades, but then there were down at the bottom right there were different. Was it the bottom right had the new abilities? I
didn't even notice bottom right when I looked in the first mission. There was like 3 things on the bottom left actually.
Well, I meant like there's that bottom thing, and then there's like 3 things around it. I was considering like that whole thing, the bottom left.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then from there, and now this brings me into the one thing that one of the things that kind of bothered me. It seems like they recycled a lot of abilities and just moved them to different places and called them something different.
Yeah.
The Warlock has an aerial circle dash dodge thing. That's one of their abilities. Oh, cool! It's a new ability on a Warlock, but really, you just put the Twilight Garrison on your Warlock.
Yeah.
There were a couple other ones. They're not big things, but I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like you're just reusing that stuff.
I didn't think about it that way. I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, like I didn't really think about it that way. You are kind of doing that, but I guess it's also like, what else could you do? And if for the person that's played Warlock, and that's all, like Triton said, he's played Hunter forever. Like he's not done some of the abilities that are on the other characters as much as he's done on Hunter. So if he's going to do, like, if something that was on one character moves to the one that he likes to play a lot, it's going to be different for him. But that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
And I mean, even like, you were saying the Dawnblade Super, it's really cool and it looks awesome.
It's like hammers.
But it's hammers.
Hammers while floating continuously, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, don't get me wrong, this isn't a complaint. I'm not mad at Bungie. I'm not going to read, put mean tweets out. But
yeah, I think the other part of those, like, I like the roaming. Like, you have a roaming smash now. It's not a panic smash. Like, you do it one time for one guy. You've got it for a little while. And a golden gun isn't like three shots now. There's a timer on it where you have more shots you can take as well.
Right. And that's one thing that was brought up to me. They kind of, from a balancing point of view, they've done a lot of things that have really balanced the classes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more, abilities are set for everybody. Grenades, melees, and the new abilities, which we'll get to in a minute. But your armor now, your setup now does your armor, recovery, and agility, and intellect, strength, and discipline are gone, so that all cooldowns are the same. Which also, going to PvP, I'm trying to stay away from that a little bit, but there's no more, oh my god, how'd that guy get his super again?
Right.
Yeah.
Because everybody has the same type of things. I'm sure kills will affect it and such, but there's no more, this guy's using bad juju with 100% intellect and scories and a helmet that gives you more, and, it seems to be, at least from what we've seen, more balance across the class. And the other part of that, which is what Booker said that made me think of it, all of the supers, they all seem to have a roaming super now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be pretty balanced, I think, in that regard. And I think I agree with you, Hove. I think some of the things, you want to see new innovations and things like that. So hopefully, I mean, obviously, and I know that's not the full suite of what we'll see. I think the interactions of those things and the application in which you'll use them could create a feel that's very different, though. So, like, with a Warlock having the Twilight Garrison and given all the other abilities and the interactions with, in PvP and in PvE, maybe it's a whole new different feel, even though it's a very familiar ability. So hopefully, to your point, that they would have those types of feels that, like, even if it's something old that, it kind of has a spin on it in the new context that kind of makes it feel like, oh, it's cool to have this now on a Warlock because of, X. So, I think that's probably, I think we both believe that will be the case.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not hating on it.
Mhm.
There's only so much you can do, and they still do things that, we talk about this game all the time, and if any of us ever mention something like guided games or anything, they still come up with stuff that we'd never think of.
Yeah.
But it's funny to me that, some of these things are the same. Like one of the exotic weapons, I forget what the perk was called, but it was something like when so-and-so perk is active, precision shots have the chance to chain lightning and return ammo.
Yeah.
So you're saying when you activate this perk, your gun has the chance to be Zalo Supercell.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I was kind of like,
Yeah. Well, now all you got me thinking is the hunter is now a Stormcaller. Like, I can't stop thinking about it now. It's like in my head.
Yeah. And
damn it, Hove! You just broke the glass, man. Jeez.
There was a perk that was like kills cause solar explosions that damage nearby enemies, and it sounds really cool because it's solar and it does this and that, but it's Firefly.
Yeah.
Like I said,
That's funny.
We've talked about some of these perks coming over anyway. It's not even a complaint, but
no, but it's a good
funny.
point. I didn't even think about. Oh man.
So
Hunter Stormcaller forever for me.
Hey, if you like Hunter and you want to be super OP like a Stormcaller, that's the way to go.
Jeez.
I still like the Titan though. He gets to throw his shield. He's Captain America.
I love it. One article I was reading did refer to him as Captain America Super is what they gave. Like,
okay, if your article didn't refer to that, then your article sucked. I mean,
you are terrible.
I just think it's funny that that's where they went. Like, they didn't call it what it was. They just said Captain America Super, basically.
Well, real quick here. We just got hosted and rated by the Manigator, Gungasaur, and Iron Lantern. So thank you, all you lovely people.
Mana
welcome. We're in the middle of RezoCast
Gungasaur.
episode 35, talking some Destiny 2, and we have Booker. And according to Fury, he should be here soon. So we'll have some first-hand knowledge from somebody who was at the event. Speaking of the event real quick, it was pointed out to me, I noticed it a couple times, but I was playing with Wilson earlier, and he said he was looking through different people's... Oh, he's in chat, so he should be here soon, Fury. He said everybody's picks he was looking at, like on Twitter, like Briar and people that were there, Claw and Fury were in the background of like every picture. Like looking like I noticed one, it was the whole DCP crew and somebody else in like 4 rows back in this crowded room. You just see like this much of Claw's face.
That's
peering
funny.
at the camera. It was really funny.
Speaking of your photos, did everybody see Claw on the beach today?
I've seen Claw on the beach in person. So
no, but did you see his photo? It looked like Shawshank Redemption. He's like walking out like it's funny. It was good stuff.
That's amazing.
Oh man. Rezo said, DJ says Claw and Fury got married. Just a heads up.
I see
touching romance.
All right, I'm resending the invite to Fury right now. He seems to be about ready to go. Fury, Triton, you want to talk about something real quick while I get Fury in here?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we know Fury went out to LA to be part of the event, which was really awesome. A lot of our clanmates did, to bring back kind of some firsthand experience. And I think that what I always take away, and I've touched on this on a lot of podcasts, is just like, we talked about the community with guided games and everything else, but just kind of the friendships that are, forged through this game and the friendships that have been made through this community. And I think every one of the presenters yesterday touched on that to some point. I mean, obviously the most with the clans and guided games, but anytime we have an opportunity to see that experience, I really like hearing those stories. The first couple guests we've had on here talked a lot about, Blessed Doom's wedding and how awesome that was for everyone to get together and those types of experiences. I know, Hove, Lego, and I, and, the rest of Rez are looking forward to Guardian Con. So to not only get Fury's take on this game, in Destiny 2, but also just again to kind of reaffirm how awesome it is to meet some of these people in real life and kind of being able to really actually physically be a part of the community at that time. I'm anxious to hear about those stories as well, because if he's been in the back of everyone's picture, then I'm sure he's socialized quite a bit. So
yes, he became friends with a lot of folks the last few days, from what I could tell.
It's a great community. The few times, like even at GuardianCon, Destiny Community Con, whatever it was last year.
Yeah.
You know, we've told the story on here. I randomly, drunkenly walked up to Fallout and was like, "You're Fallout," and now like we were cool, like we're friends. You know, like that's if I do that at a bar in Pittsburgh, I just get punched in the face.
Right.
Triton can attest to that. He's punched somebody in the face at the bar.
Oh, really? Wow. Was it Mindy? Was it Mindy?
Next topic. No, but back to like PvE. What do you think about the end of that? The whole Dominus. I think it's Dominus Gaul, right? They show him. They're going into
Gary.
that thing, and he pops out.
Yeah.
Gary, yes.
Like the end of the
Sometimes
mission, like that kind of first mission.
And he says, "What is like your journey ends here?"
Your journey ends here. I hope they show us. I hope we get to fight him and like we can't beat him or something like that. I don't know what the end is because obviously we lose. That's when Luke kind of comes back and he's like, "And by the way, if you didn't know by the Smoking 2,
spoiler alert,
you lose." So hopefully that happens. So hopefully we get to see that.
Oh shit! Hi, Fury.
Hi.
Fury.
How was it?
Fantastic.
All right, so we've already talked about some stuff, but why don't you quickly just walk us through your whole time there?
Well, my whole time there consisted of me not sleeping. So
Perfect.
Day before, I just couldn't sleep, so I just stayed awake because if I went to sleep, I was gonna miss my flight. So it's like, fuck
Well,
it.
Abbott said he couldn't sleep, and then I think there was video of him snoring.
Yeah, that I snored. There's no lie about that. But I'd been awake since like 9:30 that day before. My flight was at like 8, so I had to be in Dallas by 6. So I didn't sleep until like midnight that next day. It was great, good stuff. But I got there early. Nobody was there. Got there. Claw's flight was like delayed by 4 hours. Abbott was already
His
there.
flight was delayed last year too. For
Everybody's flight
Poor
was
guy.
okay. That's the one thing. The gift of airlines for everybody. Everybody's flight got delayed. Everybody, because of construction at LAX. It was great. So I was supposed to be there at 9 and get there till 10. Fortunately, Abbott and Little Gump came and picked me up, and then we just went and picked up everything that we needed to get for like the next few days. I bumped into Bio. She came, hung out. We got Jogging Zombies, Claw. We got that all sorted out, and then we just went and hung out. We found TV at the Sheridan. We were just fucking being mischievous as fuck that first day. And yeah, and then that next day, like we basically all agreed we're going to be there early. We got there early, and then it was really bright, really sunny. We were sweating for about like 30, 40 minutes. You can ask Pryor about that. It was a fun experience, being out in the sun and being, not so small. Good stuff.
I'm with you. I know.
But yeah, we got our badges, which we're always like, is it gonna have our real name? Because nobody knows our real names. Like everyone knows like your name, but not like what your real name is.
Right.
So it was didn't have our name, so we're like, yes. But then it was awkward because it's like, how do you introduce yourself? Like your real name or your Twitch name? It's like, what the fuck?
That's definitely like an unspoken oddity when meeting people in the community in real life. Like, hi, I'm Brandon. They're like, I don't. What? I'm like, oh yeah, I talk to you all the time. Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, like Amber, our friend, met her outside the Sheridan the day before. We're just talking, and then like I was like, hey, who was I talking to? I think it was No, it was Pope. It was Pope. We were talking to Pope because we had just gone up to the Sheridan where to get drinks, and I was like, "It's Fury," and like he gave me like a blank look because it's Pope, and I was like, "Phi," and then as soon as I said Phi, like Amber like pitched, she's like Phi, and I was like, "Oh crap, here we go," that kind of stuff. But yeah, we woke up, we got there early, we got badged in, and we talked to everyone because everybody was outside, like before they actually opened the doors. Everybody was like in a big little thing because you had to go through security, and everybody was just talking to each other. Like that's where I bumped into Tash. Finally got to see my best buddy in person, which is pretty cool. But everyone was showing up. DCP was there. Fran was there. It was nice. Everyone started like piling in. All the other like big streamers were there too, and then they opened the doors and we went into the area where the keynote was at, and the place was already cool. Like the big screens everywhere with the countdown on the clock. They had drinks over there, and everyone was just walking around. And we just had a seat because I think we had the guys from Crucible Radio like in the row right in front of us. And I know DCP was over there to the right. But it was just fun to like be able to turn around and like every angle you look, there's somebody you knew,
Right.
and that was like pretty cool. And then they did the keynote. They went over them. Those like y'all got to see that, and the area afterwards. Like so, that was one part of the hangar. The next part of the hangar, they had this area that was built just for that 24-hour period. They're like little small like rooms, playing sections. It was great. It was PlayStation Pros on the console side, and they had a little area for the PC side, so you could actually play both of those. But yeah, 6 hours of Destiny 2.
That's awesome.
That's
Was
awesome.
it as good as it looked? Did you enjoy it?
I was actually telling that to somebody. It's just we got to play on campaign. You got to do the first story mission, and you saw the first story mission on the reveal trailer, and you saw how intense that was.
Yes.
It already looks intense, but when you actually are the one that's like doing the character and you're like doing the super, you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Because the Dawn Sword, like the Dawn Blade, whatever, like super that's called for the Warlock is pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
Yes.
Like when you're using MPB, I'm like, I really enjoyed it when I finally got it up and like I could like pop that super. It was great.
You may have just answered this question, but the topic we were just finishing when you got here was it's day one, the game's about to drop, you're picking a character to play through the first time. Which new subclass?
Hunter,
Oh
So you're with
man.
Triton. You two are the pole dancers.
bruh,
wow.
Hunter. All the way.
Bruh.
That's been my main, like, okay, I've had 2 games, 2 consoles, and I've built 9 characters. I've always started with a Hunter. Fight me.
Maybe it's time to change it up, man.
No, I'm not going to be tempted. You can't sway me. Ain't going to happen.
Well, one
Hunter
of the things that,
Stormcaller?
Mm. Mm-mm.
one of the things
No.
no.
Mm-mm.
One of the things I really noticed, like especially the beginning of that mission, you know, it started in the tower, which is a place that we've seen. It went through areas that we've seen hundreds of times,
Yeah.
but it just looked so much better. You know,
It did.
like you think now, like, oh, this game has good graphics. It looks really cool. But then watching those same places redone in Destiny 2, it made the Destiny we're playing now look cartoony.
Yeah.
Like it looked so realistic and so cool.
Well,
and that was
you
the
have
first
to,
mission.
You have to remember, though, like we're, constrained because, not constrained, but restricted because of, previous gen.
Oh, right. I mean, that isn't a complaint about this game. It's
So
just how
that's
much of a
like-
step forward.
But seeing that, like, we got through that whole thing, but when you first got to that, like, first area, like, and you realize where you are, and you're like, holy shit, this is a tower. And you actually get to look around. Instead of, like, the video, you got to see it, but when I got to play it, I got to, like, look around and see all this. I'm like, holy shit, my tower, it's falling apart. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And them having, the thing I love the most, I love exploring, but I also like story and lore and all that. And the first mission brought all that together because you get more Zavala. You get them involved with that. You get to see them all like in action. You have Zavala's bubble that's actually fucking protecting you. It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You actually get to see him in action. This is awesome. And
Ikora Nova bombs that ship down.
seeing Ikora fucking raging, dude, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you're badass now. That before she's always like composed and condescending because she's too smart, and now
Right.
she's like fucking unhinged. And I'm like, I like you. I like you a
Just
lot.
last week, we had the
all
question
voted
of,
to kill her, right?
yes, we had the question of if you had to kill one of the Vanguard in Destiny 2 for some reason, which one do you kill? We all voted Ikora, and we all agreed that it was because she's had the least context to her. She's had the least development.
If you had to go if you had to kill one of them, the one that's going to do the most impact.
Don't you say Cade.
No, Zavala.
No, it was like you had to sacrifice someone to get a new power or something.
Oh no, the sacrifice can probably be like, forget that. I like all of them. You're stupid.
It doesn't matter.
I like
The point
all of
is,
them.
Ikora's more badass now. That's the point of this.
Hmm.
But you were talking about lore. They didn't really go into it, but did you notice the little L2 show lore button at the bottom of the
I didn't notice that.
screen? Fury,
No, I hadn't noticed it because a lot of things like you couldn't actually like bring up because it was a limited build. So like you couldn't look at other things like even shaders. I don't think you could even take the helmet off your character, so I couldn't even see that. So we're like super limited. So I only did what I could because I was like, okay, I want to get back into like the game and just be
But
in
You
there.
did see the little show lore thing down there? That's
Mm-hmm.
cool. It means, there's some sort of in-game lore like we've been talking about.
Yes, but just also remember this is still a build.
Right, but at least they're trying to build some sort of lore into the game.
Yeah, it might still be there. Like, hopefully it's still there. That'd be awesome. Because I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd actually be really down for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows that it's going to be in game in some form, right?
Yeah, I've always wanted a BioShock Infinite or BioShock type of lore in the game. Like you pick up a recording or something like that, and it like plays back while you're playing.
Like
the game.
audio log type of thing.
Yeah, audio logs.
You definitely mentioned that. That would be cool. At this point, anything.
Yeah,
would be
right.
great. What else? Is there anything else that you got to see or do that we haven't heard too much about? Not you specifically. I don't need to know about what you did, in the hotel room.
No, strikes. The strikes. I don't know if they showed them.
They've showed it. None of us have watched it.
The strikes are really fun. Instead of it just you can do a strike and you have that kind of boring area. Like every area, that I've noticed, it's a big difference. Like even that first story mission to this, everything has a purpose. It's not just there to be all right, this is just filler to get you to this next spot. Like everything is designed for purpose. So I wouldn't say they're man cannons, but they're I want to say Vex gates that launch you, and they're pretty cool because if you fuck it up, it's gonna kill you because you slam against a wall. But you jump across those because you're on one of the areas that has Vex technology on it, so it's taken into that kind of how the environment is and using it that way. But it was really fun just to be able to do that. And there's a meat grinder in that strike that triggers me because I died so many times to it.
Real quick, Lego's in chat, and he's pumped for in-game lore. Hello, Lego. We love you. We miss you.
Lego. That beautiful, beautiful man.
But one big thing that isn't very specific, but we didn't talk about, is going from area to area without having to go to orbit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How great is that?
That's going to be great. We didn't get to actually see that, though.
Okay.
Right.
That's the only crappy thing. It's damn. I can't wait.
Fury, you mentioned how much you like to explore, and then Hove was talking about the graphics. As I was looking through, and watching the reveal, how different the environments were. So now, you go to Mars, it's all red. We know what Earth looks like, et cetera, et cetera. But it looked they showed us you're fighting by what looks like a coffee shop, and that European dead zone. All the environments are really vibrant. And we know one of the moons or planets is water world or things like that. Were the environments really diverse this time around in just what you were able to experience?
Well, story mission, I can't say it's diverse because it's a tower. We know the tower. It just looked really
like a really good tower.
It looked really awesome destroyed. And I know that sounds bad, but it was just it was so different, but you still know it.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked ravaged, in the way that you actually were this hurts me. This is my tower and it's broken. That's
pretty cool to hear that it's that detailed.
Yeah, it's and when you get into other areas of it, it's the area past the door that everybody's always wanted open by the speaker. That was cool. And seeing that area inside, it was I'm finally peeking into, the closet where the gifts are that I'm not supposed to peek into, and I finally get to see it there. That's what that felt like, being able to go in there.
Well, I feel like I should appease Lego real quick since he is the podcast boss. He asked if we talked about NPCs fighting alongside us, because out of everything that's happened in that entire reveal, that's what got him the most hyped.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't fighting next to you.
I missed that.
Are you talking about Zavala, when he was dropping his bubble, or are you talking about other NPCs?
He's just excited about NPCs.
That's
all that matters.
For me, the only time I ever saw that really happen was as I said, Zavala, dropping his bubble and protecting you, which kind of was stupid because I kept dying every time he dropped the bubble. It's besides the point. But every single time he dropped the bubble, I just got killed, and I'm just sitting there, I'm fuck. But I only got so that's the other thing that irritated me. Not really irritated me, but you could only play as a warlock in campaign. That's what it was locked to. Only as a warlock.
I got you.
And I never got to play as a hunter because when I did PvP, the stations that you go to, they're already locked into that character. You don't get to choose a different one. Okay. So I got a warlock when I went there. I finally got a Titan when I did a strike, and the Titan super is pretty cool.
The Captain America one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fun. But just the supers in general, they've changed. they're roaming now, and they're not like, yeah, they're still powerful, but the thing is, like, it takes you a while to actually get them. Like, so when you use them, you actually still want to be, pretty smart about it. Like, you don't want to just like pop it just to pop it. Like, I used it like in the strike because I didn't know like what was going to be around the corner. But if I felt like it was getting a little bit overwhelmed, then that's when I do it. It's like it's my last like resort. That's what I do instead of just being flashy. And I actually had to use it like towards the end to avoid dying because as a Titan, I was just like running back and forth, and it was cool. But in PvP, you're like, when you get your super, it's kind of like, I got a super. How are you going to use it?
Yeah, and I think, we talked a little bit before you got here about how they seem to have balanced out super and ability usage across the classes. Getting rid of intellect, discipline, strength. From what we can see, as Fury said, this is all like an alpha build. Everything's subject to change. But with that way, like, I think the problem was at the beginning is kind of the same thing as the weapons. They brought out, say an armor piece that when you did so-and-so thing, you got this ability or you're super faster. Well, then once they had that, maybe they had to bring it out for a different class. And then it got to the point now where you had scories and bad juju and everything, and you could spam stuff like that. And it seems like it's going back, like Fury said, to you get your super, how am I going to use it?
Did you notice anything about the character screen when you saw that?
Which character screen?
Like your intellect, discipline, and things like that they weren't there.
Yeah, you get armor, recovery, and agility on your armor now.
Yeah, so everything has the same cooldown.
Right, that's what I mean. Like,
so
they've balanced out. They've balanced out the abilities and the supers along the classes as opposed to being able to spam things. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
The only one that feels spammy though is Golden Gun, because you're not limited to 3 shots anymore. Like, you have like a bar that you can go through. So I kind of like that change, but now at the same time, it's just like, yeah, you're used to the 3, and now you have like a roaming super that you can do a lot more with.
I'm sure they're not as strong though, right? Just like the smashes with the Titan.
The smash still has an area effect. It's a small area effect, but enemies are like, you're getting rushed. Like, you can take out like the things like right next to you, but you travel with it. Like, you can go and do what you need to with it.
Well, but like as far as it's not going to do as much damage per. It's not like you get 3 or 4 equivalent to now Titan smashes. I'm assuming they're going to be smaller area effect, less damage. And I would assume Golden Gun's the same, right?
Golden Gun? I don't know. Like, I didn't get to play as a hunter, so I can't completely vouch. This is just from watching other people play it, because when I was in the PC side, I was just watching the screens there. And yeah, the Golden Gun, like, you could technically get 6 shots, but realistically, you'd get, if you had to get everybody, you'd only get 4 shots, because PvP is only 4v4.
Well, yeah, that too.
So yeah, you get 6 shots, but you don't need all 6 shots unless you fuck up.
Which I feel like everybody, at least in this podcast, probably would.
Yeah, I would need 7 shots to get 4 guys.
So Fury, you're there with all the hype, with all the excitement. We were getting really hyped up for some of the things they were revealing. That's kind of how we kicked off the podcast. You're there. What was revealed that got the most buzz from, not just prominent community members, but just, the community at large?
The thing that got most buzz, I'd say,
the picture of all the Rezo people.
Yeah, well, that's always a Rezo perk right there. But the clan features for D2, like in the guides, I think that was really, really cool, because now you actually, it's like, you have your clan name, but like you can actually show something about it. It's like, this is what we've done, this is what we can do. Instead of just kind of like being there like a little bit abstract, you actually have something and you get rewarded for it. I think that's really cool.
Would you say that was the most exciting thing for you too, as far as new features? Would you agree with that?
It's not really a new feature, but like once I found this out, I was like perfectly happy with everything else. But just I was worried that my ghost was going to be dead, and that we wouldn't have a ghost.
Yeah, no one's really talked about that. That's funny.
No, but like I looked at my inventory and I have a ghost, and I was like, yes, okay,
nice.
We're good. I don't care about anything else. I have ghosts. We're good.
Now,
did you get to see the farm at all? Did you get to go to the social space?
No.
Okay.
The only thing we got to see was we're in orbit before we selected anything, and when you select it, whoever your fire team leader actually has to launch your lens, unless you were doing the campaign story, because that's individual. But we would always be in orbit, and the directory was limited. So whichever station you were brought to, that directory would only show you that. So if you're in doing story.
Okay.
When you went and sat down, it would only let you select that story mission. You couldn't like toggle between story and strike. So I don't know what that directory looks like until it's fleshed out. But yeah, it was already pre-selected, limited view on that.
Well, I think the burning question in everybody's minds now that we all want to know is, now that you got to go to this, or did you bring home footage, or you can be a big time content creator now?
No, I'm not part of that fancy group that can capture footage.
But did this drive are you going to make a YouTube channel now? Are you going to be famous? Even
Maybe.
more famous?
I'm famous. Here's my ass. No. No, it's gonna make me want to like be more involved with streaming. I don't know if I'll actually ever do like YouTube content, but it definitely pushes me to be more involved.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something, going to see the game in general would be really, really awesome. But like you said, just going with that much of the community that you know, and that whether you've talked to them or not, you knew them, you wanted to talk to them, like that was really cool. A lot like Guardian Con that we have coming up, which will also be cool, which I'm sad that you cannot go to.
Yeah.
Very sad. So that was good for you, though. This was kind of like a nice replacement, right?
Well, that's that was for me like the balancing act, like because this was not expected. I wasn't expecting this at all. But if you get summoned by Activision and Bungie, why are you going to say no? If you
Right.
can, why would you say no? Like other factors, going into that, sure. But I went because I was like, yeah, I'm not going to say no because I don't know when this will happen again, if it ever will. So let's go.
So, question from Lego Lay Flash: what did y'all think about a freaking tank in the trailer?
A freaking tank in the trailer?
Yeah, there was a
Yeah,
tank.
I guess I forgot about that.
It's not. I don't know. Do we get to drive the tank?
I don't know on that one. I really don't know like how we're going to do that because it was shown in the trailer. We didn't get to see a lot of the other things in there. Like even that area where Hawthorne's at, the only time we ever saw that was in that reveal. That's it. Like our scope was a little bit more limited.
Which makes sense, because one of the first things we talked about was whether we thought they gave away too much, and I don't think they did.
Yeah, because I hope they keep a lot of things like as much as I'd like a beta to play the hell out of it, I really hope it's a limited small beta, because the problem with the first beta that we did for vanilla Destiny is you basically got the entire game almost. Like once you got to the moon, I think you could do 1 or 2 missions on the moon, and that was it. But after the moon, directly wise, you only had Venus and Mars.
Yeah.
And that was it.
You got all of Earth and then the one weekend, I think, on the moon, like Fury said.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, that was almost like all of at least half of the game that you got during the beta. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't. It's like, let me just get used to the character, do some PvP, like, the subclasses. I don't want to see all of it. Like, I want to go into the launch and be like, I don't know what this is. As opposed to when, Destiny launched and we already knew where stuff was because we explored it in the beta and we knew it was there. Like, I want a small snippet.
Right. Yeah, and I think, it was nice to be able to get some stuff. You definitely wanted to see what gameplay was going to look like, but it was nice to, see some, like we said, cutscenes. For you guys, a strike, a story mission, but not, not everything, not too much. So I'm happy with it. But like you said, I don't want the beta to completely give away everything either.
No, nobody does. Like, that's, I think, a common thing the community's always said is, like, during their streams of having everything revealed, it takes the fun out of it. It's like, okay, you just told me what my birthday gift was before you even wrapped it. Thanks.
I'm not going to lie. I used to look through, closets and stuff to try to find my birthday gift.
I buy my birthday gift now, so...
Well, I'm talking when I was, 8.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. It's like, okay, like, if you went through all your gifts and you knew exactly what you were getting, you're like, okay, that's cool. Now I'm going to act surprised when I actually get it, and, it's not going to be authentic.
Yep.
Now, did they do any talking off the stream? Like, did any of the devs come out, or, Luke, was there any more to them addressing you guys other than what we saw on stream? Whether it be, publicly, or, did you get to hang out with anything like that?
I got to talk to the people so the staff that worked the event, they're actually Bungie employees.
Okay.
Like it's not just like, random people. Like there might be some other random people, but for the most part, like the staff that you saw walking around and guiding people, those were Bungie employees, people that had to do with that game. So I didn't ask too much because I didn't want to be that guy that's like, I can't answer anything. But we did talk about things that we could. So one of the guys I was talking to, I was talking about how I like how things are still the same to a degree. Like
What is? I'm sorry.
how some of the things are still the same. So like the UI, like for your character. So when you view your character, we still have that same grid setup of weapons on left, armor on right, and then when you select it, you can choose your different thing. But there's some small tweaks here and there for how things have changed. So I know like the world directory is going to be a little bit different because they gave us a view of kind of what it looks like, but we don't see completely. And the one thing I got from them is they're not changing things for the sake of changing them. If it's working, they're not going to change it.
Right.
So that was some nice insight and knowing like, okay, they're not just, completely throwing everything out. They're still kind of, acknowledging stuff that does work and acknowledging the stuff that doesn't. So for me, that's enough to be like, okay, we're good.
I like that.
The one thing I wanted to wait a little bit, I wanted to wait for Fury to get here to bring it up since you actually got to see it in person.
Mm-hmm.
The big debate now, 30 FPS on consoles, unlocked, on PC. We saw it on video. It's not the same as playing it, but it still looked pretty damn good. I mean, how did it look as far as the 30 FPS?
Okay. 30 FPS, you're still going to love it. You're going to be fine. It just happens to be that the hardware we have is limited. There's no question about that. It's a console. PC is just fantastic. It's always going to be fantastic because guess what? If a year from now your graphics are okay looking, there'll be another graphics card that you can swap out and it's going to improve the way that it looks. Consoles, you can't really do that. And we're playing on hardware that's 3-4 years down?
3 years old, yeah.
And
almost
we have
4.
graphics cards that come out every year. So it's like we're battling that. So it's not really like why can't they do it this way? It's like they're doing the best that they can with the hardware that we have. So and they're making it awesome.
Right. Well, that's the one thing that since then there was the quote from Luke Smith saying flat out like PS4 can't do it. It's just not powerful enough. The graphics, the renders are too. What did he say? Too. I forget what word he used, but basically, like it's too like everything is too big.
There's just a lot going on.
Too rich is what he said. Yeah. And he was saying it doesn't have the PS4 Pro, for instance, has a ton of GPU power, but it's the CPU that deals with the FPS, and it just can't do it. So, for everybody who's pissed about it, sorry, it just can't work because the game's too big. The game has too much stuff in it, which I'd rather have that at 30 than a shit game at 60. Well, I don't want to look at Triton in 60. I'd rather look at Booker in 30.
Well, hey. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I think for me, it's like you can still get 4K. Like it's still going to be a good looking game, and it's going to be a personal preference thing. Like for me, I'm a console guy. Like I will probably go the PC route sometime next year, but I'm a console guy. I like having consoles. And I've held out buying a PS4 Pro, hoping for a Destiny PS4 Pro at some point. But there's like you said, it's always PC versus console is always going to split people. The PCs are always going to say one thing, and it's hard to get away from that battle. There's always going to be somebody saying something.
Yeah, I don't see a big deal. I guess my point was just getting Fury to say, yeah, it still looks damn good. Which,
I'm sorry to interrupt that.
No, that's not what I was saying. I'm just saying, like, I don't think any of us are mad that it's 30.
Mm-hmm. No, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing you have to remember. A lot of the games that we see that are like 60 FPS, either they're like super limited in like what they do. So let's not like what they do, but let's take Overwatch. The way that the maps are, they're great. The way that the characters are, they're great. But that's all you're doing is just PvP. And even when they do PvE, it's a map that you've already done that's just been adjusted to what you're using. So it's not really like you're adding additional things to it, to this like big world. Because take the size of a map of Overwatch, compare it to the size of the world that you do a strike in right now in Destiny.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah. and you're gonna have all of that running in there. And on console, jumping into that first mission and just getting sucked in. I don't give a fuck. It's not 60 frames a second. It looks fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna happen. Like, yeah, you can complain about the 30 frames per second until you start playing it, and then you shut up.
Yeah, I mean, the only time even now that I ever notice is if I literally am playing Overwatch, I switch games to Destiny, you can see a little bit of choppiness. But if you're just playing a 30 FPS game that has good graphics and it has a good resolution, who cares?
If I'm having fun, if I'm getting grossed, and the game is just keeping me in there, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay with it.
Right.
Well, I feel better. You're going to be okay with it, Fury. I feel better.
I still want a PC though, just because. Yeah,
I do. Yes.
Well, I guess that brings up the next obvious question. We're all in Resolute. We're all going to be maining PS4. Was anybody going to pick it up for PC?
if I get a PC like that could handle it, yeah, I'll do that because I also balance Xbox right now.
Triton?
Yeah, Oh, go ahead, Triton.
No,
I'm just trying to get him to talk.
I don't think so. I mean, the only computer I have is the MacBook I use, so that's probably not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, as the fruit stand I work at, it's hard to buy a PC. Like I struggle with that. But I think next year I can see it happening. Like once I start getting through character stuff on a PS4, once I've done it once on Xbox, I can see myself like adding that to the repertoire, so to speak, just because of how much I've started and deleted characters already with Destiny 1 over 3 years. I'm sure at some point I'll have a PC of some sort sitting here.
Yeah, I think, I'm definitely going to pick it up for PS4, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get it for PC right away, and I know it's delayed, but I mean, even for when it comes out. Sorry, I was just looking in chat, and Tink said she was getting it for PC, and then I said, Tinks won't play with me, and she said, you're a potato. That's why I laughed. Yeah, she's super nice.
That's harsh. She comes back for one day, and she's already throwing insults? Damn.
I know, right? But what I was getting at is, I don't think I'll pick it up for PC right away when it does come out. I do want to see what bugs or if any there are, how it looks as far as transferring over.
Has to be optimized.
Right. And community-wise, everybody I know now is on PS4. That's why I know them, because I've played with them.
Yeah.
So the only way is if a bunch of people I know also want to play it on PS4, not, or PC, not main it, or if, the content creation side makes a difference. I don't do YouTube much, but, if I get people that stop in to stream that are more PC oriented with PC players being on it, maybe I will, just to broaden my
for me, I'd like to go multi-console right now, just because I'd like to be able to play with everybody. Like, you meet a ton of great people, like, and some of the best people I like to play with only do Xbox, because that's their system that they love. So, like, I get Destiny so I can play Destiny with them on that. And eventually I want to get a PC so I can play with my friends that only do PC games, because I want to introduce them to Destiny and then, have this thing that I love, have them love it too. So it's not a matter of, which console are you going to, main. It's like, I'm still going to main PlayStation, but I still want to play with all my friends.
Tink says main will always be PS4. Rezo is Bay. Oh, Tinks, are you in? You're in Rezo?
Did we do additions? New additions to the clan?
Oh, everyone welcome Tinks to Resolute.
Hey. I hear she's babe.
I don't, like I said, I don't think the FPS thing's a big deal. I don't think, what do you think about the PC delayed launch sale? Do you think that's, I've heard theories that it's just to optimize it. I've heard, and actually they've never confirmed it's been delayed, right? They just said, or not delayed, but it's even pushed back. They just said they haven't confirmed a date.
Everything, they haven't confirmed anything. It's just like when you take any product, they're not going to confirm anything. So it's speculation right now. Like, for all you might be hearing is chatter from back then. It might be on track right now. It's like, until they say otherwise, we'll just go with that.
Right.
That's my goal, though. Me and Booker know how this goes, like, in regards to, talk about products.
Yes.
And that, it's just like, just go with it. If it's ready, it's ready. If it's not...
When is that new Apple coming out? I don't know.
When it comes off the tree, bro.
My favorite are Honeycrisp. That's my favorite apple.
Yeah, love Honeycrisp.
Yeah.
Caramel.
Did you know they're like man-made? They're like genetically made to be the sweetest, juiciest apples.
Yes. Yeah, they grow them just north of me, too. They grow them right here.
Why don't you bring some to Guardian Con, yo?
If they'll let me bring him on the plane, don't they stop that stuff? Oh wait, it's not cross the.
Yeah, you're not leaving the country. It's just Florida. It's just Florida. We're not going to Cuba.
I'll throw him in a bag. I'll get you. I got you.
I love Honeycrisp apples. Triton, what's your take on Honeycrisp apples?
I don't know if I've had a Honeycrisp apple.
Oh, you haven't lived. You haven't lived yet.
You said, "Oh my god, have I eaten one of those?"
Seriously, I had one by accident once, and it is the best goddamn apple ever.
Yeah, they're great.
Bring one to Eden Park after this.
Do you want to go to Eden Park after this?
No, I'm gonna pass out after.
See that? He blows me off all the time.
I just went and saw Guardians 2 together, Hove, and I treated you to Eden Park afterwards, so...
Not that there isn't, more stuff that happened, but
there's a siren.
Fury,
Gary's calling.
I was hoping. Yeah, that's my. God, I hate that.
Is that
there's
Gary?
There's a fire station near me. Yeah, the tower's being attacked.
Oh my
there's
god!
A fire station across the street.
We brought it in.
And 35 episodes, it's never gone off during it. So Lego, it's your fault since you're not here.
Yep.
Is Lego still in chat?
I don't know. They're coming for Hove. Yeah, Gary's on his way. Fury, is there anything else that stuck out to you, or that you want to touch on, or anything? I know you literally.
They finally
Fury
caught the
literally
bastard.
got off the plane, went home, and jumped on here. He was so excited he forgot to start recording until halfway through.
Yeah, it's actually true. No,
Sorry,
I literally
Lego.
just got off the plane. Like, I just got off, and I got hit by the humidity of Texas. So let me tell you, going from the nice, comfortable California weather to that, love it. Love it so much. No, I'm just really, really excited for the stuff that we're gonna get. Like, because I'm already poor because of Destiny. I'm about to be like just bankrupt because of it. And, when more of that stuff comes out, because they had the stuff on the walls. Like when you like walked in through like one of the little hallways, they like had a wall space that had like 3D replicas of the weapons, and they weren't cheap replicas of the weapons; they're real replicas. Like movie prop type detail on those, and then like you go around and you see like the other stuff that they're showing off, so like the figures, jackets. I'm excited for that stuff that I can actually physically take with me. And that to me is like they're putting more of an, I think, emphasis on that, because they know that we want more stuff. Yeah. And just seeing that big list of people that they're partnering with, I'm really, really excited for that.
Funko Pops.
Yes. Can't wait.
Super excited for those.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, you can pre-order them on Amazon for like $100, but
I'm so OCD about the cases though, because I keep them in like the plastic.
Yeah,
we know.
I did pre-order my Gallahorn. I did pre-order my Gallahorn though.
Yeah, pre-order my Gallahorn.
Yeah,
like
pre-order the Gallahorn,
bro.
I forgot. I didn't even know it was out there yet that you could pre-order it. I just did.
Definitely a scrub, that's for sure.
Yep, I know that. Thank you.
So everyone in chat says that I killed Lego, and that's why there's a siren, and that's why Lego's not here. That is untrue. Just for anyone who was wondering.
Can we have an episode where like the Triton comes upstairs and you guys sit next to each other?
We can.
Triton doesn't live here.
I was about to say, like, if you killed Lego upstairs, don't bring him downstairs.
He definitely does not at all.
I'm pretty sure if you walk out of that door, you'd like walk down a hallway into his room. Yeah. You're just hiding.
Well, I think, if Hove leaves the room, he walks in that white door behind Triton right now, is what I think happens.
Might as well be.
You guys are all liars.
Hey,
none of this is
okay. True. Y'all are a power couple. It's okay.
It's all right, man. Okay.
I both love
I'm like loving the end of this podcast.
Don't let Mindy divide you guys.
Thoroughly enjoying
Don't let it happen.
This part of the show.
Well, guys, it's been a good episode. We'll let Fury get out of here. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about as things come up, and next week we'll get to hear Lego's point of view too. But Booker, thanks for jumping on last minute.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's always fun having you on. Fury, same thing.
Yeah, thank you guys
great
so much.
times.
Thanks
Appreciate you jumping on right away.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, this has been RezoCast episode 35. I got the number right. Make sure you guys can follow us on Twitter at RezoCast, YouTube at RezoCast, and you can check us out on iTunes, Google Play, and what's the other one? YouTube. So make sure you check that out. Talk to us on Twitter. We love hanging out, talking to all you guys. Triton, how about you?
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch, all under Triton Please, the Please being PLZ. And how about you, Booker?
You can get me on Twitter and Twitch at LeadOffMan. There is a 0 in there, and it is LeadOffMan, not LetOfMan or anything like that. How about you, Fury?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch under His Fury, same name, easy to find me.
All right, and finally, make sure to follow Team Resolute on Twitter at Team Resolute, and this is perfect. Team Resolute also has a Twitch channel, which Tinks has been saying she was going to update the schedule for like 6 or 7 years.
Tinks is in the clan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was just she just worked for us. But twitch.tv/ResoluteGaming7. So make sure you check that out. And finally, you can find me here, twitch.tv/Hove76, and Twitter and YouTube, same thing, HOV76. So until
Don't
next
forget to
week.
tell them about your Chatterbait link.
Oh my god. Next week we have here's the sirens again. Next week we have
Mindy's
another
on the
Rezo member.
lookout.
God damn it. We have another Rezo member who was at the reveal. Next week we have Mtashed on. So make sure you guys stop in, check that out. That one will be fun. But yeah, until next time, GG.
And you can find me, Lego, at Lego Lay Flash on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Oh, wait. Is the podcast over?
I'm also I'm gonna be Lego. Hey guys, I'm gonna Booker, just so you know, it's gonna say live up there in the corner, but we're not really live. It's just a private backup.
What am I supposed to say again? I forgot what I was supposed to say already.
Just I forget again. Triton. After the dust settles, how many players do you think you were losing to the ridiculous changes you were making to this game?
What?
Yeah.
Did they watch the same thing I watched?
I don't know how to start this. I'm so nervous. Where's Lego? And
Also,
we'll see y'all
Hogue isn't
later.
wearing any pants.
Bye. I'm not wearing pants. That's true.
Confirmed.